Host this in your bedroom so you can go to sleep and you watching this boring shit right here.
You know, man, at the germ of it, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's like, you know what? If it was a episode of The Outer Limits for an hour,
Not
like,
even an hour. 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Well,
Yes.
a TV hour, which is 44 minutes.
You're right.
No.
It's maybe like there's a germ of an idea in here
Yeah.
that's good, but the outlying concept around it, when you look at it at all, makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like, we're supposed to believe
You're right
the
about
kinder, gentler aliens, they're just invading us because we're killing our own planet. And really, they don't mean any harm. Except for when they take over your body, they completely destroy you, basically. There is no you left after that, ostensibly, or at least as far as they're...
I don't know. We find out that some people are fighting back.
No, but at least as far as the aliens are concerned, you're done, right? And where does the point go where we're supposed to feel sorry for them? Where's the point where the movie wants us to go, it's not fair, it's not for you, humans are just as bad. Wait, fuck you, this is war.
You're like, wait a minute, you know this is not real, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you get mad. They're not going to come and possess you,
No,
man.
but
You know what this is bringing me flashbacks of that goddamn zombie love story movie we just saw not too long ago.
Warm Bodies?
Warm Bodies?
I was like, oh, it's funny, Cyrus. What can't aliens do again?
No, this is nothing to do with rules. Hey, man, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Because I'm not...
Life isn't fair, Cyrus.
Actually,
Life
I don't
isn't
even
fair.
understand why you said that. I didn't say anything to do with the rules of aliens. I'm talking about what this movie says itself.
Cyrus, ask these guys why they're laughing so much.
No, man, we're just joking.
I'm just-
We're just kidding,
Hey,
man.
You know what? I'll
It
take
is
laughs at
jokes.
my expense when they make sense.
Cyrus says, look, let's not fight. There's a common enemy out there, okay? The aliens are coming. We gotta.
No, the common enemy is Stephanie Myers.
Oh, man.
Oh, she's definitely the enemy at this point.
This woman needs to put her stank on everything now.
I know. Just rubbing her ass on everything that we love. Just putting her smell on every what if you think it's cool, you know, hey, if you think vampires are cool, she's rubbing her ass on it. You think werewolves are cool, rubbing her ass all over that. Now we think, oh man, aliens, man, we need a good alien movie right now. Except Stephanie Meyer got to rub her ass cheeks all over that too.
Oh, yeah,
And by rubbing her ass cheeks on something, that the definition of that is crowbarring in a love triangle and making nothing happen for way too long.
You know, I might have actually enjoyed this a bit if something happened at any point other than people talking. Even the love triangle is so weird and off-putting that I'm like, man, if there was like 2 action scenes in this movie, I would have probably given it a little bit of a pass.
I agree with you completely. By the way, co-host, we need to hide our zombies before she comes and rubs her ass all over us. Protect our zombies, man.
It's too late, Corey. It's too late. They already made that movie. Too late.
No, they made it good.
They made it with a sense of humor. Let her get a hold of it.
But see, you're right, Cyrus. All you guys are right. You were saying maybe there is a hive mind kind of thing going on here. Maybe we are possessed because Coles and I were saying the exact same thing. I was thinking that through the whole movie. I said, there is a concrete idea here. There's a good idea. It's just stretched out to a long, boring film.
Yeah, and that was the only real positive thing I can say about it because it's like this is a movie. Movie means moving in motion, doing something. And I'm like, wow, this isn't doing anything. It's like half of this, a good like 80% of this movie takes place in a cave.
This is not a movie.
Yeah.
This is a glacier.
One cave short of a Batman. I'm like, God damn it.
And
Even the
think
crews
this
got
is-
out of the cave.
You think since this is clearly the aliens from that old movie The Hidden, since they like fast sports cars for some reason, they would have been a little more excited.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I'm like, all right, if the tweens need something, like this, let them have it.
Stop giving them shit.
I'll have my hidden, and they can have this.
Tween girls, we need to. I'm about to start a war with tween girls because I'm tired of them taking our shit.
I know.
And adding. It's cool until they add love to it, and that's one of the problems with this movie. In this movie, you got these aliens called souls, and they wander the universe for years and years, for centuries and centuries. And when they find a planet that they feel like they can inhabit, what they do is they possess the souls. The bodies of the natives. In this case, they come to Earth. they start to possess people's bodies. And when you get possessed by one of these aliens, you go out and you get some silver contacts and a nice white suit and walk around and do the worst acting job that you can.
Dress up like Colonel Sanders, roam the earth.
I don't know what is the deal with flashy cars and white suits. They must have landed in Miami first.
Except it would have been cool in Miami, you know. But they took all the fun out of Miami, man, and out of Colonel Sanders, for that matter. You know, damn, Colonel Sanders at least brought me some chicken. They don't bring me nothing.
Yeah, he brought all the spices.
Yeah, they took the spices out. But where we have the twist here, where the plot kicks in this particular story, is that now what's this? I'm not going to even try. What's this girl's name?
Saoirse Ronan.
You sure?
Yeah, we looked it up on Wikipedia the other
Thank
day.
God. Thank you. 'Cause I was about to mess up.
Celeries.
I said celery.
Because you know I was.
Romaine celery.
Her mom called it celery. I'm going to call it celery.
I'm glad they looked it up because you know I wanted.
Oh, you and I, we would have got tangled up trying to say that name. Coles, get off me. I'm trying to say that.
Her name is Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
That's her name.
No, at this point, why not? But when one of the souls possess her, the girl that she was before, she's still alive inside of there. Her whatever mental capacities are inside her head are not giving up. They're putting up a fight. And she has something to fight for. She wants to get back to her boyfriend, played by Max Irons, and her little brother.
Do you pity them, the humans?
Don't you? In your other lives, have you ever felt anything like this?
They were brutal, killing each other, killing their planet. I'm lucky they survived as long as they did. I do have some good news. Your identification of Jared Howe has helped. There was a sighting. I am confident we will find him.
No!
And I guess what was interesting to me in this story is that they do find a colony of humans that are banded together in any kind of story like this. This is what you find, and led by William Hurt. And what I like about it is that she's in her head. She's trying to, but she's in this predicament of saying, this alien is representing me, and these survivors here, these humans, they're not going to know that I'm inside here. So no matter how nice this alien is, who they call, what do they call her? Wanda.
Wanda. Well, the alien's name was Wanderer.
So they call her Wanda. Well, Wanda starts to become a little more human herself, more compassionate. But the whole predicament is that no matter how compassionate this girl or this alien is becoming, the humans are not going to believe her. You know, they're going to want to kill both of them
Because they believe whoever the alien inhabits kills the actual living soul of whoever they do.
You're right, and they're not going to accept this alien until they start to get horny. And horny trumps everything. She's a filthy alien with a fine ass. Listen, I'm gonna take her back to my cave and interrogate her. Nobody open this door, no matter what you hear.
Turnabout is fair play. Let's get the anal probe.
And by anal probe, I mean my penis. Well, that's what happens. Like, she walks in and everybody's like, we got to kill her. We got to stop her.
Yeah, first they just keep beating the shit out of her.
Oh, yeah, they beat the hell out of her. But there's one guy.
That's Cowboy Bob steps up and goes, well, no.
Well, that's what happens. All of them are beating the hell out of her. It's pretty much a lynch mob, except you got this actor, Jake Abel, who's in the background, licking his lips like, wait a minute, y'all. Maybe we should cool out for a little bit and talk to her.
Well, William Hurt first, because he's thinks he's in a good movie here. So he's playing like this likable cowboy type character.
Haven't made a good movie in so long.
I know,
he don't know the difference no more.
And you actually do like him in it. You're like, go back to William Hurt. I actually kind of like that guy. Maybe he'll actually shoot someone at some point. No, he doesn't. But still, yeah, there's nothing like, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, man. This movie.
It's late, man. This movie made us tired.
I was one of the things about it is like, I'm not really liking anybody in this. Nobody is setting the world on fire. Plus, I was laughing at the fact that like these aliens capture her in New Orleans and she runs away 2 blocks to a mountain range. I was like,
well, she drove.
Yeah, she drove, but she didn't drive for that long.
Yeah. Like, one of the main things that bothers me is the idea that this sentient alien, they said, lived for 1,000 years. And of course, as in Stephanie Myers, she immediately wants to hook up with a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And has been in hundreds of bodies before this. And just now it occurs to him, hey, maybe this is wrong.
Right.
Well, she's a slow learner, man.
Yeah.
She is. Come on, but I don't know. Like I said, there were hints of something that could have been a lot more. I mean, I did like the fact that this, the actual girl, what am I trying to say? The soul of the
Her name is
original.
the character that Saucy plays. What?
Saoirse.
Saoirse. Yeah, she's playing two characters.
Right. What's the human girl?
The human girl is named Melanie.
Melanie. Yeah, the whole time Melanie is in her head, she does want to get back to her kid brother and the guy who she eventually fell in love with. And that part of the story, I was like, okay, that's something I can at least understand, at least with the family aspect. And the scenes that they had with the brother, I thought worked, yet I think it would have worked a lot more if they had some better actors, because I did notice a lot of the actors that they had in here, there was moments where, it was like that CW type of acting.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, definitely, man. That's the target audience.
Yeah,
you know?
but then again, with that target audience it had in mind, watching this whole thing, I really felt this is something that should have been on the CW alone. This would have been an interesting story to take there, because it definitely felt kind of like it should have been more episodic than making this just a movie.
Well, to me, it was episodic. I have problems with how the movie's segmented. Not that it even meant to. It's segmented to me this way because to me the movie came in three waves, and I have a problem with the director. Andrew Niccol is the guy who directed this. Did Gattaca, and what else did he do? I know he did that Time movie.
Yeah, In Time with Justin Timberlake.
In Time, and with Gattaca, I don't know what it was about Gattaca, but Gattaca was kind of cool, and I admired Gattaca because Gattaca was a science fiction movie that they did a lot with less.
They did not only that, but Gattaca, at that time, nobody was making smart science fiction movies. And it was one that came out, it was like, wow, that was smart. But as you watch this guy's career, I begin to think maybe that was just a fluke.
I'll tell you why, because what was cool about Gattaca is that it was a science fiction movie that really did work with a good idea. They didn't feel the need to show you all this futuristic scenery, all these gadgets, and to a certain extent, I admired that about In Time, but it looked too sparse.
Well, Gattaca benefited from just great characters. They had three great characters. That was Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke, and
Jude Law.
Jude Law. Yeah, just their interaction with each other. Just there was some real story there. This, not so much once you realize it's more of like a romance set.
Well, the problem is the thing I'm saying is, my point is that Andrew Niccol, when he's directing these movies, what I admire Gattaca for, I'm starting to think that, man, you got to populate your movies with something, because it's starting to like you filming on abandoned streets.
Yeah.
You filming in abandoned buildings. It's almost like you filming in these places before you get chased out from the landlord or whoever's on
He
the
said,
place.
fuck it, I'm just going to the desert.
But that is the thing. It's like so much of it in the beginning, it takes place in Louisiana. It's like, yeah, because it's cheap to film there. Everybody keeps setting their movies there. Then it goes to the desert where there's nobody around that you got to block. It's just empty land. It's just, it's cheapness.
And
shows.
the aliens are so neat and organized because it's almost as if they're trying to do an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type thing, where they don't have any personality. Everybody's uniform because that's how peace comes along.
That's exactly what they're doing.
And so the movie, everything is set that way in the aliens' world. It's almost too uniform and neat to where I found it boring. And I'm seeing that pattern in a lot of Andrew Niccol's movies.
I think the problem is that too much of the budget got spent on chrome plate and all the vehicles.
Seriously, that was the entirety of the budget, as near as I can tell. Was there any? Like a girl jumps through a window at one point. Other than that, was there anything that looked like it cost money here?
But
at all?
As far as like I said, it's really hard to try to find something that I liked. It did have another hint of an interesting storyline that they could have really taken, which is the Seeker. I can't remember the woman who played the Seeker in this movie. Diane Kruger. I thought there was a great part in this movie where you could tell, these aliens are supposed to be a peaceful race.
Yeah.
But you could tell there's obviously something else going inside of her. Like something else was going on in her head that was making her a little bit more violent than the rest of the aliens, even to where the aliens were noticing it. And I was like, man, please do something with that, because that now you're getting me interested in this person who's supposed to be playing, like, I guess now the central villain. And unfortunately, they dropped the ball.
Cyrus, you got anything you want to? You've been kind
of. I've seen that kind of same type of thing in other films, not for the same reasoning, but even in like Free Jack. You remember that one?
Barely.
Where Mick Jagger was a cop who's getting too obsessed with catching the guys because it's turned personal. It's like we've seen that element a lot.
Les Miserables.
Yeah, exactly.
Les Miserables, even not even sci-fi, arguably.
Hey, I was grasping on to something in this movie, and that's the thing.
I know exactly what you mean.
In order to stay awake with this, you got to look for something.
Well, the whole movie's paced so slow. When I was saying earlier is that the movie's in three parts to me. The beginning part is just dull, or the first third is just dull to me. The second part, I like the idea of what they're doing. I like this whole this inner conflict between Wanda and Melanie. I thought that was really cool. I thought the whole dynamic of her being accepted into this human colony and how, and you know what? Even though it is a love story, I thought, now that's cool. You have the alien falling in love with one guy and the boyfriend knowing that possibly his girlfriend is still inside there. I said, how's this gonna work? And I almost yelled out, fight!
Corey, obviously this book was written for you, my friend.
Well, see, don't get too far because I still think it was a little slow, but I said, I feel like giving this a chance now. The movie turned with just one bit of dialogue, man, and I thought it was one of the dumbest things. And the third part of the movie for me, that's where it just got stupid. And the dialogue that they said where the movie turned is when Wanda looked at that guy, that actor Jake Abel, and said, "Kiss me the way that'll make me slap you." And then I thought about everything leading up to that, and I said, all right, now here's where the love story is getting dumb. Here's what we're getting to Stephanie Myers that I know. I knew she couldn't hide for long.
I kept thinking of that whole love story going on, that whole weird triangle. I was like, is this Stephanie Myers' excuse to give little girls the idea that this is the way they could cheat? As far as like,
well, no, what it is
by having that split personality.
Well, it's just dumb because we get into dumb things like, okay, I've lost somebody inside me. The only way we can find them is if you kiss me. I'm like, okay, you're gonna go with this old dumb love shit. I mean,
that shit was crowbarred in there.
Yeah.
I felt like after that, it was coming to a conclusion where I was like, all right, all this has been pretty bad so far. I mean, like, even the conflict between Melanie and Wanda, that's interesting in concept, but so much of the dialogue of what's written that she says out loud, it's like, damn, bitch, you don't just think without talking? And stuff she says, it just makes you laugh, even though you don't want to. It's like, I can't help but snigger at so much of this.
What you call me?
But then when they decide, like, okay, this is how we have to, conclude this, I was like, you know what? This is kind of ballsy, and if I wasn't rolling my eyes through so much of this, I might be touched by it. But then comes the epilogue.
The epilogue,
and it's like, wow, you found a way to just dynamite any kind of goodwill I could have had for this movie.
You couldn't shut up, could you?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That last part, I was like, man, if this were in any other movie, it actually, it would have some power.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't because you're right. It gets too involved in the ridiculousness of what the whole story is.
It's just like there are a lot of little premises that could have worked in the hands of someone who knows how to write dialogue between characters.
Yeah.
And the biggest weakness is that Stephanie Myers is so bad at writing dialogue, and most of it is between the same character and herself, largely in her own head. It's just like you said, like the triangle. That could have been interesting with a good writer, that setup. But oh my God, it's just eye-rolling, cringing moments of her like going, no, don't kiss this guy. Okay, now kiss this guy. No, wait, don't kiss that guy.
Let me ask y'all
you know what?
something.
I don't want to take Stephanie Myers off the hook, but Andrew Niccol wrote this for the screen and directed this.
That's what I was about to ask you.
From her
I was going to ask you, to be fair,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, all of you, I mean, none of us have read this book, so I'm wondering, and to be fair here, if the book was better. I mean, it's easy to use Stephanie Myers as a scapegoat here because of her history with Twilight. But as you said, this is not her screenplay completely.
Yeah, it's not. Screenplay adapted by and directed by Andrew Niccol. So he's got to take the line.
Whoever's fault it is, they fucked up.
Well, the other reason why I ask is because, again, Stephanie Myers has that name. She could write the Bible, and they're gonna find a way to make Jesus have a relationship with a 14-year-old. You know what I mean? They're just gonna skew. They're gonna skew it down for that tween audience, and that's why I'm wondering if this was a smarter book and they dumbed it down just because they know what audience is gonna show up.
I would say at best you could blame the plot on her, but the dialogue's on him.
The plot is interesting, I thought. Again,
parts.
It's
in parts,
It's in concept.
Man, I don't know.
Corey, I'll let you read the book and you tell me later.
That's your book assignment.
Oh, wait.
Your homework. Yeah.
Well, I will after I get through with Twilight. I got one more book, man. I'm almost done.
I'm just happy that thank God no girl shoved this book in my face just to read, because there's a good chance I would have read it just to try to get into those pants.
Well, co-host, read this one. It's sci-fi. Sci-fi? Well, that's right up my alley. Of course I'll read that, little lady.
I wish I could have snuck that book on you, man, without you knowing this.
Yeah. You sit around with it in your hands like, is that book good? Psh, Man, you don't even know. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let you borrow it. It's gonna blow your mind.
This shit is amazing, man.
Tom Sawyering him with the book.
Sorry.
But you know what? I know you and I are probably thinking the same thing because you and I had the same look in the movie. We just sit up there and we were just leaning back in that chair.
Yeah.
And there was a good chunk in this movie, and I don't think y'all can blame me for it. Where my head was just dropping, and just I was bobbing my head to this movie.
It's
just,
so
Man,
boring.
that's full of you. Yeah, I did it too.
Okay, I was about to say, I know you, man. You just as tired as I am, and I know you. I see you all. In fact, I see you sometimes, and I can't tell how many times I looked over the sides and said, "Oh, isn't he cute when he sleeps?" We wipe your drool sometimes.
I'm only laughing because I see you do it too. And I've gotten where I don't even wake you up no more. I'm like, he needs his
Yeah,
sleep.
because he doesn't actually snore. We have to wake up. 'Cause you're like,
Did he snore tonight?
he was all the way on the other side.
Now,
of me.
how would he know? He was sitting there
Because he
drunk.
heard you across the theater.
He was drunk and laughing through the movie.
I was. I was sitting next
loud?
to Johnny Neal. We're like,
Man.
but that's the thing is, they're just laughing because we were a little drunk. I mean, this movie isn't bad enough to really be funny on the whole.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not.
bad enough to be dull.
Yeah, somebody said like, "Oh, this would make a great Master Pancake Theater or Mystery Science Theater." It's like, no, it wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
There's too many places where
It's too
shit
boring.
is happening.
I've seen them do the Phantom Menace, and that, as boring as that movie is, this would be fucking tough to get through.
And can I just tell everybody, there's not much. You would think it's over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's about 2 hours and 5 minutes. You're gonna say, man, it's just 5 minutes more or over 2 hours. What's the big deal? For this movie, that's a lot of fucking time. Man.
And they do a lot of damage in that last 5 minutes.
really
Yeah.
do.
It's
Yeah,
kind
they
of
do.
like, I was like, look, okay, I guess I'll give it some credit. And that last 5 minutes made me go, taking it away.
It's just
Sorry.
raising its eyebrows to the audience going, so you guys want a sequel?
Yeah.
Huh? What do you think? Sequel?
Yeah.
No.
Did that really
we
take
don't.
did that really take anybody by surprise though? That,
No,
that
of course
epilogue?
not.
No.
But
It was
it was
just like,
shameless,
it's
that's
just like,
all.
hey, you have a chance. A door is open for you to exit with some class. I suggest you take it. And it backed away like it was going to, and you're like, hey, what if we did this? It's like, okay, you ruined it. Forget it.
I'm gonna do something.
Totally copped out.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I'm gonna do something here, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm being overbearing or I'm coming in here and ruling the review. But everybody's thinking the same thing. I mean, do we really need to recap? The movie's just boring. I mean, we can
Yeah.
get.
No. Go ahead.
I'm giving this a very low rental. I like the idea, but that is it. That's the key word. Dull, people. That's the biggest damaging thing about this movie. I think everybody's thinking the same thing. Do we really need to do a wrap up besides giving our rating?
Well, besides boring, from what you do get outside of the good ideas that actually have been taken from other movies, the dialogue is so horrible. It's just hard to attach yourself to it. I'm giving it a high some old bullshit because guys, I was thinking low rental until that last 5 minutes, and I was like, no, I can't do
In the
it.
theater, I was thinking to myself, is it possible to give this a nice some old bullshit, a kind some? Because I don't hate it,
Right.
I admire it in some ways, but it's still something I wouldn't dare recommend.
Well, admire
Yeah,
is the
let's
key
see.
word that you just used right there. So that's I can understand your rental if you're using that word. With
I'm
it.
saying very low rentals. Okay, I'll stick with that.
You know, I mean, as I was watching this film, it was a low rental because I'm like, I'm not enjoying this, but I keep thinking that maybe it's going to do something cool. I mean, there's enough stuff that's interesting at its core, at its base, that you're like, maybe this is going to go somewhere.
Well, like you're rooting
but,
for it?
But by the time it's all over, you're like, nope, nothing happened. So it's some old bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, some old bullshit for me too. Like I said, I could admire something I see in it in a movie all I want. It doesn't make it the movie that it is.
Right.
So yeah, no, this movie should have been called The Boring, and that's just I would have given it a rental because I got what I paid for.
What, a nap?